Zana Weinstein, if you'd please come up. Zana is a medic in the Baldwin Fire Department. As a volunteer in the Baldwin Fire Department First Aid Company, members were asked to sign up for shifts to ensure that they had coverage. Zana, while still working on her second year with the Baldwin Fire Department, signed up for 40% of the total number of crew shifts. To put that another way, she volunteered and committed over 1,100 hours to the department in just under 4 months. She did this while attending school. As an EMT, she shows compassion and empathy towards her patients, her peers, and has a tremendous amount of pride in whatever she does. Zana aspires to be a nurse. Congratulations, Zana. Lonnie Green. Lonnie is a lieutenant in the Baldwin Fire Department. Lonnie, a member of the First Aid Company, while helping to lead his company responding to calls, was also making sure members were properly trained in wearing the PPE that would protect them from COVID-19. He was also working 13-hour shifts as a physician assistant at Northwell Health's Long Island Jewish Medical Center. When COVID began to slow down in New York, he responded twice with DMAT, which is Disaster Medical Assistance Team, with the Department of Health and Human Services to help in other parts of the country. Lonnie was helping those stricken with COVID-19 for months on end. Thank you, Lonnie. Fire Department. Nick has been committed to serving the fire department and our community for 43 years. He kind of chuckled at that. Nick stepped up and offered his time to help the chief's office in obtaining cleaning and medical supplies long before we were all shut down on March 22nd because he knew what was coming. Nick sat through countless hours of his own time on these calls to make sure the chiefs were kept informed of this constantly changing pandemic. Nick helped establish sanitizing and safe practice protocols for the fire department. He also worked with the mayor to put these same protocols in place throughout the village to help keep all employees and residents safe and healthy during this difficult time. Thank you, Nick. I was going to give people an opportunity to say something, so if anybody who has received already would like to say a few words, please come back up and... Anybody? No? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So we'll make that option open. From the first precinct of the... Oh, so we did ask the first precinct, I forgot about this, to pick someone, and they said, we just can't. We feel that our entire precinct really stepped up and served admirably, and so we're going to honor the entire first precinct of Nassau County, Nassau County Police Department. The efforts from our supervisors, police officers, and police medics all went above and beyond their call of duty in Inspector Vitelli wanted to acknowledge the 1st Precinct as a whole to receive this recognition. The supervisors, police officers, and police medics were constantly put in harm's way of this deadly virus and in turn putting their own families in danger. All employees at the 1st Precinct took every precaution needed in order to not spread the virus to others. To date, there were over 1,000 COVID exposures in the precinct to the officers during the pandemic. Do we have anybody from the 1st Precinct here? No. Okay, well, thank you to the 1st Precinct. John Carey. John is a volunteer at the St. Christopher's Parish. John served as a middle school principal and worked in education for 33 years. During the time of COVID, John assisted the ministry's food pantry week after week to pick up food donations, bring them to the parish, and organize the pantry. He was a tremendous help in reaching out to those in need throughout the community. He also volunteers with Splash, and we went out on a boat together, an organization that removes debris from the surrounding waters. John is a father of 2 young men and has 4 grandchildren. He has been married to his lovely wife, Elvira, I got it right the first time, for 50 years. Elvira and John both volunteer for the St. Vincent de Paul Society and have made many house calls to serve their neighbors in need. Thank you, John. I haven't seen the artwork yet, so this is a surprise to me. Shy people here. Oh, someone speaks. All right. Okay, this is a 2-for-1. Could we have Olivia Rodriguez and Joshua Mercado? Are they here? No. Okay. Well, they are from the South Hempstead Fire Department. They are EMTs. Olivia and Joshua are lifelong South Hempstead residents, as well as fire department EMTs. Josh and Olivia have spent the last year on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. When the virus ravaged through the community, both Josh and Olivia selflessly put themselves in harm's way. Guided by their senior leadership, these newly minted EMTs were able to address their calls with the precision and safety of a veteran first responder. At the height of the crisis, they answered an unprecedented number of calls, many of which were life or death situations. Juggling their day jobs, Olivia is a music teacher at Uniondale's Walnut Street School, and Josh is a Nassau Community College student studying for a career in paramedic law enforcement, was challenging. But both EMTs immediately jumped into action once the dispatcher's call came through, often putting themselves in harm's way. Although their rookie year can aptly be described as trial by fire, both Josh and Olivia remain committed to their service and plan to continue supporting their community for many years to come. Thank you to both of them. We'll make sure that they get their, oh wait a minute, John, all right, we need to, can you give this to John? Sorry, John, you have the wrong one. All right, Charisse Young, are you here? Charisse, good. Charisse is the Director of Pupil Services in the Baldwin Public Schools. Throughout this pandemic, Charisse went above and beyond in her role as Director of Pupil Services. In the blink of an eye, she ensured that the Pupil Services Department put plans into place for the seamless continuity of programs, services, and supports for the Baldwin community. The success of remote learning was largely due to her leadership, commitment, and her team approach in helping the Pupil Services Department. The focus of her outreach was to remain flexible, empathetic, and accessible while providing the students with a free and appropriate education despite the hurdles COVID placed in front of us. Her department made contact with every family and student to ensure they had everything necessary to continue learning and moving forward. but was not limited to families with health care issues, families in temporary housing, and families battling COVID. During the challenges of remote learning, the old playbook had to be thrown away, and new policies and procedures were created to meet the needs of not only the students and their families, but also the staff. Thank you, Sharice. Wendy is an RN at South Ocean Care Federally Qualified Health Center. Wendy has been a staff RN at the Freeport Center for 5 years. She came to SOC FQHC as a new graduate nurse. During her time at SOC, Wendy has transitioned from novice to expert in the art and science of nursing in the community. As a staff member, Wendy works tirelessly and diligently to increase access to comprehensive and primary health care, as well as improve the health status of the community, especially the underserved and vulnerable, in a financially responsible manner. Wendy provides optimal care every day, every evening, and on Saturdays. Wendy is truly dedicated to the community of Freeport. This dedication was especially evident during the COVID-19 siege. Wendy and the team tested over 1,750 people and also offered food, housing, and I believe that was that done through you guys, food? Yes, I know. We're going to get to you later. And health insurance resources for the same patients. So thank you to Wendy. John Jacobson. John is a sergeant with the Freeport Police. John has been a Freeport police officer for almost 30 years. His career as a police officer was spent in the patrol division, where he always worked the busiest post despite his seniority, and in plain clothes in the community response unit. After his promotion to sergeant in 2013, in addition to his duties as a patrol supervisor, he served as the commanding officer of the motorcycle squad and as the department's representative on the Freeport Emergency Management Team. In this capacity, John helped direct the department's response to COVID-19 by ensuring that Freeport officers were all equipped with adequate PPE. John was recently transferred to the Freeport Police Department's Detective Division as a supervisor of detectives. John has also served with distinction as a member of the United States Army, where he was deployed twice, once during Operation Enduring Freedom and again during Operation Iraqi Freedom, in which he commanded the 343rd MP Detachment in Iraq. He retired from the Army in 2010 as a lieutenant colonel. John also recently completed a 6-year term in the Chief's office in the Northport Fire Department, where he served as Chief of Department from 2018 to 2020. How'd you do all that? Congratulations and thank you. Sorry, we're not yet. Denise Martinez. Denise is a manager at Gala Fresh, which is one of our local grocery stores. Denise, a Baldwin High School graduate, has been a member of the Gala Fresh team since it opened in 2015 and immediately stood out as a star. She started as a cashier and within months was promoted to management. Denise has always put the customers first and throughout the pandemic did not skip a beat. Even through all of the stressful, scary times, Denise kept a smile under her mask, and treated everyone with respect and care. She assisted our elderly customers in receiving their groceries either through the phone or email, since online shopping was challenging for them, and visiting the store was potentially dangerous. Denise is an integral part of the GalaFresh team and a fine member of the Baldwin community. Thank you, Denise. And Christina. Christina O'Leary is the director of the Sandell Senior Center in Rockville Center. In her capacity as the Director of Senior Services, Christina is extraordinarily attentive to her clientele. When COVID-19 hit, it was apparent that the seniors could no longer attend programs. Indeed, it soon became clear that as a particularly at-risk segment of the population, the seniors would not be returning to the center for quite some time. Christina knows that social interaction and activity is critical to the well-being of seniors. She quickly switched gears to develop and employ an at-home program. Christina corralled volunteers to call all the members on a regular basis to check in with their peers and to find out if they had unmet needs. Shortly thereafter, Christina spearheaded the development of a bi-weekly television program that airs multiple times per day with an exercise component, interviews, and an activity. Christina created a newsletter to keep the seniors' minds active. She also encouraged her staff to start a Zoom-based set of programs, including exercise class, lunch and laughter, bingo, and Zoom trip to Paris, and a thrice-weekly social work call. The seniors who have a computer or tablet have learned to use Zoom to attend these programs. Even in an environment in which seniors couldn't come to the Sandell Center, Christina has been able to support the health and wellness of her clients.